This is going to be a little bit of a different video today because I'm at my parents' house and I need to clear out the cupboard in my childhood bedroom, and it is full of sketchbooks. And I thought it might make an interesting video kind of talking you through art education, like how I found it, and just seeing how my work's progressed. So yeah, I thought I'd kind of show you through from, I can only see one sketchbook from when I was like really young, and then I've got, I think I'm going to discard my A-level sketchbooks just because they are terrible and just not the one. And then Art Foundation, uni, and kind of talk through how my work has progressed till now. So if you don't know me, I'm a printmaker specialising in wood engraving, so I make quite intricate prints. So kind of everything I'm going to show you today is going to be quite different, especially my uni work, I think. But yeah, as I go through it and inevitably throw most of it away, yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to kind of see the progression. So I have no idea when this sketchbook's from. I'm hoping it's a long time ago because obviously they're quite naive paintings. But I used to fill, I mean, look at this. I used to fill sketchbooks before school. Like I used to paint a lot before going to school, and after school I'd go through phases of just painting all the time. But yeah, I have no way of dating this. I guess I'll pull out some nostalgic ones, maybe like one or two, and throw the rest. Like, because what are you meant to do with this stuff? This is quite sweet because this is my childhood dog Liza, so I'll have to keep that one. I'm probably gonna keep like 5% of all this stuff, and then we're jumping to when I was in A-levels, and a group of students were selected to make lithographs. So this is kitchen litho, which is when you use tin foil, wax crayons, Coca-Cola, and it's like lithography, but it's like you can do it at home. It was really fun, and we were looking at poems by the poet Ted Hughes, and we all made artwork in response to it. And then there was a exhibition at Exeter University, I think, and I feel like Ted Hughes' wife was there from my memory. So that was really cool. And actually I like this one. So I'm going to keep this one. It's naive, but in like a nice, confident way, I think. I've torn out most of the pages to throw away, but I'm going to keep a few just, to see how far I've come. But it's weird because sometimes like children's art, you can't always tell the difference between that and like a professional artist's work, because I think successful artists really strive for like the freedom that a child draws with. Like this piece especially, like you possibly could see that in like a children's book, like an illustration, because of the naivety of it is like probably adds to the success of it. I just found some more bits from when I was younger. This feels really self-indulgent, but I just feel like it's quite interesting to see my first painting. But also, my mum has written that this is also my first painting. Maybe it's one painting, or maybe I just did them on the same day. But there we go. These two ink paintings, I think they were made with like a quill and a paintbrush, I seem to remember. This was like a duck that lived at our sixth form and used to tap on the window. And this was my childhood dog, and they were made into card designs. So my first step into, starting a business was a card company. I had about 6 to 8 designs and sold them at the local post office. And I was just convinced that I just wanted to sell cards, and I was just always working out how many cards would I have to sell to live off selling cards. And you can live off selling cards, but you have to sell a lot of cards. So yeah, that was my first little step into making money from my art. So now I'm on to the sketchbooks from Art Foundation. So Art Foundation is typically the year you do before uni. And it was honestly the best year of my life. I learned so much, and I just, really, really recommend doing an Art Foundation. Unfortunately, the course I did, which was the Totnes Art Foundation, shut down last year. So Art Foundation was where I fell in love with printmaking. The printmaking tutor there, Wendy Newman, was a really great teacher, and I feel like I was one of the only students, or I could have been the only student that specialised in printmaking at Art Foundation. So it was really good teaching, basically one-on-one. These are dry points, and it's probably my least favourite printmaking technique. It's nice because it looks a little bit like etchings, but it's much cheaper because you tend to, you scratch into perspex. But I just hate the sound of it, and I find it really labour intensive to print, much like etchings really. But I love the thought of doing actual copper plate etchings, but I've only ever done one. But it is something I would like to do at some point. So this is the kind of sketchbook that I might keep because it's got lots of landscape drawings in it and prints, and I don't know. But then what am I keeping it for? Because I haven't looked at it when did I finish Art Foundation? 2012. I haven't looked at it in 13 years. So, yeah, it's just really hard to know what to do because you make a lot of art over your lifetime, and especially the art when you're younger that, you know, you don't sell because no one would want to buy it. It's hard to know what to do. You can't kind of store it all. So the main issue with kind of everything I'm going to show you is that I used a lot of double-sided tape. It was just what we used, and it just doesn't stand up to the test of time. If I peel this part now, it's just, it's got no stickiness left. It yellows and just everything falls apart. So a lot of the sketchbooks I open and everything just falls out. So I'm sure double-sided archival tape would be fine, but this is definitely not archival. But these are all little abstract landscapes. That was what I was interested in at Art Foundation, was taking landscapes and kind of abstracting them in a way, and looking at shapes. I've always feel like my Art Foundation work is like closest to the work I always want to be doing. This is actually the view that I was painting this morning. I used a lot of brown in my work back then. Now I kind of avoid brown because I think, well, I don't need to add brown in because even though it's there, I don't have to, I can use my artistic license to kind of decide on whatever colour. But yeah, quite an enjoyable book, just wish it wasn't ruined by all the tape. One thing I really hated about all art education was the way that they made you write things about everything you did. Like, you just want to make the art and then you had to write like what you were doing, what was useful. And I get it because it had to be marked and you can't just hand in a bunch of work without any explanation. But God, I hated it. Because you just do the art and then you just force yourself to write anything and you don't really think about it. Well, I didn't, because I'm not very academic. But I guess it kind of gets you ready for writing Instagram captions later down the line. But yeah, I just remember that part, like all these bits of writing I would have just hated doing. You can see the issue with the double-sided tape here. Everything just falls off. So for the first part of Art Foundation, we did a formal language, which was like negative space, colour theory, contrast. I can't quite remember, but yeah, here's the negative space bits and colours. And basically, it was just really, to be fair, at the time, everyone was a bit like, oh, but it's not really what I want to be doing. But it gave us such a good like foundation in art. And I definitely think back to it. Every time I make art, I'm thinking of composition, I'm thinking of colour, thinking of contrast, and it's all bits I learnt back at the first bit of Art Foundation. So I think it was really good to have that grounding in like the more formal side of art, the more like traditional techniques, and we did life drawing as well every week. And yeah, it was just really valuable. It's definitely like benefited me every time I've made art since. After learning the basics, then we'd go on to specialise in printmaking, textiles, illustration, or whatever we decided to specialise in. I remember doing this massive wood cut, so not wood engraving, it was a wood cut, and I did it on a bit of oak, and you don't normally do wood cut on oak because oak is very hard, and by the end, like my knuckles were bleeding as I was like carving the wood, and it was just a crazy thing to do. But it's a self-portrait. Yeah, I look really miserable, but I guess teenagers generally do look quite miserable. Although, at what age was I here? I think I would have been 17. So yeah, you can see throughout my sketchbooks at Art Foundation, printmaking's like what I love. Like I choose it most of the time to make the images. So these 4 sketchbooks are quite fun. So I clearly cut in half or in thirds, like a normal sketchbook. Hey, Win. And just filled them with abstract prints and drawings. They're falling apart because, of course, double-sided tape. But yeah, these prints here are like how my final piece turned out. So it was like 6 grids of 9 prints, I think. I can't quite remember. But I think I sold them all, which is why I don't have them. But they mainly look like these here. So yeah, I'll definitely keep these because this is like still the kind of artwork that I like to make. I just can't believe how much you can get done in a year. I guess when you're not like an adult and have all the adult responsibilities, you can just spend your whole time making. And also not worrying about selling as well, because obviously that takes up the majority of running an art business. I remember being obsessed with using masking fluid. You know, when you paint it on and then you like do a wash over the top and then peel it off. I used to find it so satisfying. Hence why lots of my work was made with it. They kind of look like woodcuts though, I think. So I've got all these Collagraph and lino plates that I'm just going to throw away because, well, they've kind of had their day. I don't really know why I kept them, but so they can go in bins. So it's nice to just have an easy decision with some things. And then I thought it was done, but then noticed I hadn't gone through the biggest sketchbook. So I made this sketchbook. We were taught bookbinding at our foundation, and it was a really cool skill to learn, although I was never very good at it because I'm just not precise enough. But yeah, it was really nice, like proper bookbinding materials. So there's this absolutely huge book. I don't know if we all made books this big or if I just decided I needed one this big. I don't really know whether I should keep this or not. I might just take bits out of it. I don't know. It's so hard because I'm not really that attached to many things. Like I don't need a lot of things. But it was like such a pivotal year for my art that it feels like maybe I should keep them. These are more kitchen litho prints. And I feel like every art student goes through like a Jackson Pollock phase. It's just like a rite of passage. I really like this really simple kitchen litho print. I like the bold lines. Maybe I should try and do kitchen litho again. So here's the setup of my final piece. So it was 6 groups of 9 prints. So annoyingly, I think I have to keep the world's biggest sketchbook. So yeah, not ideal, but I just don't think I can get rid of it at the moment. So I've gone through all the art foundation work now and I'm on to my uni work. And I've realised I've only got the first year of uni sketchbooks here and all my other work must be at my house, but I throw most of it away because I just don't like the work I made at uni, which like these sketchbooks from Art Foundation I feel like nostalgic and some of the work I still like, but the work I made at Winchester I don't really enjoy. So the first project, I think we had to like walk around Winchester and I don't really know, like we didn't have to sketch, I don't think. We just had to like observe. And I can see like everything I learnt at Art Foundation coming into play. The way I'm like, I've got John Piper influences, which is an artist who I really like and studied at A-level and Art Foundation. But that's probably the last time you'll see like anything you recognise, I think, because after that it just gets very conceptual because I studied fine art, but it was like quite a conceptual course, so they wanted a lot of emphasis on the ideas behind the work. That wasn't really me. I just wanted to think about technique and composition and make work I liked, and I wasn't too bothered about like the message behind the work. So yeah, my work gets a bit weird from here on in. I've got a mini newspaper that I made with collage. So I did do quite a lot of collage, and so that kind of ran through Art Foundation Uni and what I do now. It's quite cute, little newspaper. And then there's this book. So we were given a bit of paper and it had something about Baldwin on it. Someone called Baldwin. I don't know. And I was like, this is way too academic for me. So I scrumpled it up, and I guess I made a whole sketchbook of scrumpled paper drawings. Quite nice. And then I did an animation as well, with the bit of paper. But yeah, they're all a bit random, my uni books. And I don't really like anything in them, so it's all a bit sad. But I definitely just chose the wrong course. And also, I could have stuck to what I was doing at Art Foundation and kind of developed the landscapes thing and printmaking. But I knew they wanted a bit more from me. They wanted like concepts, and I always like to please. So I just kind of did what I thought they wanted me to do for a few years, for the 3 years I was there. And it's just led to work that I'm not happy with, and I didn't really get to progress my printmaking. But I think it was useful in the fact that I know now what I don't want to do. And also because part of my degree was film and animation, I feel like that comes into play really well when it comes to like YouTube, Instagram Reels. So yeah, it's not like black and white of I really loved Art Foundation and I really didn't like uni, but I definitely, if I had to do one again, I'd do Art Foundation in a heartbeat, and I would not do uni again. I feel like I'm in one of those 2020 Zoom meetings where you like sit in front of a bookshelf to make it look like you've read all the books. I haven't read any of these books. It's just where I'm sat. But anyway, I just came across a page in the sketchbook that says etching workshop, and it's clearly where I did copper plate etching for the first and last time. And it's in first year, and I just feel like, why didn't I do more of it? I had the facilities and I really didn't make the most of them at university. And I definitely regret not standing my ground and saying, no, I am a printmaker, this is what I want to do, and just printing for 3 years, because I may have got a lower grade, but I think I would have come out of uni with work that I was more proud of. And I'm having no problem tearing up these sketchbooks of my uni work because, yeah, I just don't resonate with them at all. So I ripped the pages out of all of my first year uni sketchbooks. I don't think I've saved anything from them. I've just got some like travel notebooks for when I went interrailing. So yeah, there's a huge pile. I put Winnie in front of it for scale so you can see how much stuff I've got rid of today. It's really weird. You never feel old enough to have bits of paper that are like yellowed. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think maybe when you get to the age of 90, then everything will look like it's like 100 years old. But these things are like 100 years old, and some of them are only like 12 years old. I got rid of quite a few sketchbooks because these are all the bindings. So I've got like separated into like recyclable plastic and things like that. I'm glad it's done, although I haven't got rid of as much as I was hoping to. So it's a bit of a shame I don't have any second and third year uni bits to show you, but I've got them in my studio at home. They're just like embroidery, poetry, collage, possibly a bit of print, but not very much. So again, just not work that I really can resonate with very much. But I'm pleased, like after uni, I went back to doing what I love, landscapes, printmaking, sketching. I guess it shows you like how crucial it is to find the right course, because other people on my course were loving it and got loads out of it. It's just I wasn't quite in the right place for me, I don't think. So my next video is just a January vlog, so everything I've got up to in January I've been filming little bits and pieces, so that will be out next week, so do check in for that. And if you have any questions or video ideas, do leave them in the comments, and yeah, I'll see what I can do.